4:30. We'll dive into the NFL, college football, and more. How are you, Coach?
I am.
What taco did you go with here?
I went with the
spicy
fish and the crunchy chicken. Pretty good.
Cheers.
Cheers, my man.
Cheers. Let's.
Well, first of all, my condolences on passing of your grandmother.
Thank you. Yes. Appreciate you.
I know it was a life well lived, and
absolutely. She was 89.
Oh,
89, and my favorite grandparent.
Yeah.
I told her that yesterday. Josephine Turner. She was fantastic. So
nice.
Thank you for saying that. Cheers to you, because this week you're getting your first win. All right.
I appreciate it.
I say it like that because, man, this past week overtime, Lane College, they up and down game. It was fun, and 28-27 the final. Let's run through it.
Okay.
Let's run through it. You win the toss in overtime, and I want to get to how you got there in a moment. You win the toss in overtime. You elect to take the ball.
Yes.
Why did you feel that you wanted the ball first in overtime?
I just had a feeling that we had the momentum. Our offense had the momentum. We kicked a nice 51-yard to go into it as time ran out.
I was told it would have been good from 60.
It was right down the middle. And to tell you what, Caleb Mosley, we came into the season not our field goal kicker. He's our punter, fantastic punter. But he wanted to compete for the starting position to kick. And he kept kicking in practice, and he kept getting better and better. And he came through for us in a clutch moment. And that was encouraging to see. And I'm thinking, okay, let's continue the momentum, get our offense back out there. We had, at that particular time, 2 quarterbacks that were kind of rotating, and we were pretty much one-dimensional. And we were able to complete a ball to one of our receivers to get the ball down to the 1-yard line to Karate Benson, big 6'4" receiver. And I guess we got to figure out a way to get him the ball more. Him and J.J. Holloman, who helped us go into overtime. But we were able to score. And
you did what you wanted to do.
Did what I wanted to do. 27-20, get my defense back out there and, get a stop, get a fourth down, force them to do a fourth down. And it just never happened for us. They came in with a phenomenal game plan, well coached, and found a way to score, and then said, hey, we're on the road. We'll probably never be in this position again. We're going to try to close the game out now. Complete, love the call, and wind up getting it. And, hey, the better team won that day. And, it's been some hard losses the last month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, in terms of our opening in Jackson State, and you have the implosion in MTSU. Of course, we know who they are now. And then lose a close one to Lane. We were down 10 starters total.
You've played 31 players with their first snaps this year.
Yes, young team, and we're battling. I mean, that's the thing that I look to, and our players always call me Mr. Positive, and I'm Tony Robbins at the school. But that's what I choose to do. I choose to look at the bright side and say we're closing in on some wins. We can look at 4 or 5 plays total this year, and we're looking at a completely different type of season, 3-1. But we are not at that place yet from a culture standpoint where we can handle success. There are still some little things and little details that tell big stories about who we are, and those are the things that we have to continue to change. And once we do that and be consistent with it, continue to believe in it, and continue to work and do our job, then I believe those wins will come.
Well, you're down to your backup quarterback in this game. You rushed for 226 yards of offense here. You averaged 4.8 yards per carry. I mean, to me, that's Eddie George style. You've got to be pleased with that part of your offense.
I'm pleased with that part. First play of the game, first offensive play of the game, our second-string quarterback building confidence, gets stripped, scoop score. And I've been as a running back on the end of that, in Ohio Stadium at the goal line, and it gets in the run. A little Illinois defender picks it up 97 yards. So it changes you as a player. You're not as confident in terms of, wow, God, what if it happens again? It's always been in the back of your mind. So, we gave them 13 points off of turnovers, overcame a lot of adversity during the course of that game, kick the field goal to go into overtime, and then go up in overtime. And we're showing that we're in these games competing, but it just didn't turn out for us in the end.
So going back to taking the ball, again, just to clarify, you had the momentum, but your defense had been on the field in the fourth quarter for like a 9-minute drive or something, right?
Very, very long time. They've been out on the field. Third downs were killing us. I mean, every time we win first, second down, then all of a sudden we're at 3rd and 10, and then we jump off sides. And we 3rd and 5, manageable third down, They converted. And it kept happening until about they got to midfield. We finally get that ball. So I went forward on 4th and 1 in our own end zone, not own zone, or at their end of the field. And it was about 13 minutes in the fourth quarter. And I'm thinking, okay, our defense can hold them down, pin them back a little bit when the field position.
You're thinking like I have 2 or 3 more possessions.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. We didn't get the ball back until about 5:27 left.
And you need to
We're
go get a
down
field
by
goal.
3. We got to get the field goal.
Yeah.
And it was.
So second guessing that, you've been thinking about that call more than you have taking the football in overtime.
Yeah, because I felt like, you know what, maybe I should have kicked the field goal, and it probably would have been a little bit different in terms of
what they
do. So and that's a lesson learned.
Well, that's fair,
Yeah.
but I understand where you're coming. It was early in the fourth.
Right.
You're thinking you're getting the football back.
At some point, we were going to get the ball back at least a couple more times.
What'd you tell your team after the game?
It was an emotional time for everybody. I told them that, we've got to continue to look at the positives. And they, were very upset behind the fact of who we lost to, how we lost to them, and so forth. But, I kind of know why those things happen and why we kind of led to that loss. And I think they understand that. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
But we've got to
more than the outcome of the game.
Yeah, it's bigger. It's way, way, way bigger than the outcome of the game itself. So and we have to be accountable for that. I think the pain of that loss, you understand that, hey, we can't just wake up and roll our helmet out on the field and think we're going to beat teams. If you are not prepared, if you're not locked in, if you don't play your A game, you'll get embarrassed, and that's what happened. And all the credit goes really to Lane College. I mean, they came in with an outstanding game plan. They have really, really good football players, big defensive end, a quarterback who was really efficient from the pocket, big kid. The offensive line was really sound and technique. I mean, it was a hard-fought game for us, and once again. No matter who you're playing on any given Saturday, you can be beat.
Homecoming this coming weekend, Nissan Stadium, 5 o'clock kickoff between Tennessee State University and Bethune-Cookman. And you can catch that game on ESPN+. Our friends, Keith Bullitt and B-Hop, Brad Hopkins, will be on the color commentary with Dan Lang. Also, the game is right here on 102.5 The Game, starting at 5 o'clock pregame at 4:30 as you make your way to Nissan Stadium this coming weekend. The Eddie George Show, we're going to get to NFL and college. We always kick off the show talking all things TSU Tigers. One clarification, I was out of pocket, so I read about the game. I was not able to see it. But there was some people that attended the game thought that there was an inadvertent whistle in overtime when Lane went for 2 on the first snap. But there was really 12 men on the field, right?
There was 12 men on the field. We had 12 men on the field.
So some people
thought they blew the play. They blew the play
Gotcha.
dead prior to the execution
so
of the play.
the officials were correct. I just want to, from your perspective.
I heard the whistle.
Yeah.
They blew the play dead. Our guy stopped. They counted 12 in the field. We knew it. I didn't have any more timeouts. So
right.
Like, okay, we're with our pants down here.
Yeah.
So
you knew it, and you were hoping they didn't know it.
Yeah, but as soon as they snapped the ball, it was like, okay, it's 12 men on the field. We're done.
tell me about Bethune-Cookman and what you've seen so far and what you hope to accomplish this weekend, status of your quarterback, and much more.
We are going to have our hands full yet again. Bethune-Cookman, their record, doesn't really indicate how good this football team is. You look at their roster; they're built much like we are, with some transfer kids from Power 5 schools. They have girth up front defensively. Their quarterback is very elusive. They have a running back who hits the edge. He can hit the explosives. Once again,
they throw it well, don't they?
They throw it really well. Oh yeah, they've a well-coached football team, and again, it's going to be another game where we're going to have to fight for it. And there's no gimmies in college football. You got to go earn these victories, and Bethune-Cookman is a formidable opponent.
Homecoming always brings the crowd. Mm-hmm. You had the crowd this past week at Hell State, 11,500.
500, man. It was awesome.
That's great.
You know what? In spite of the loss, the pageantry, the magic at Hale Stadium was definitely felt. While seeing our side, the home side almost full, the opposing opponent's side almost to capacity, and the excitement, and it was a great game to watch. I mean, our goal
that's
is
the first thing I told you when you walked in.
Yes.
It looked like, just reading through it, this was a great game for fans to take in.
It was.
But unfortunately, the majority of the people there, their team, they didn't leave happy.
Right. Right. And
I get it.
So. Yeah, and that's a tough loss to take. It really was a hard pill to swallow. But in all, when you look at the big picture, it was a great environment to be in for us, and we are hoping to have more games and have that type of environment, that type of engagement moving forward.
Again, just a reminder, 4:30 pregame this Saturday. If you'd like to tune in, Greg Pogue, Chris Sanders as the analyst for radio. Great broadcast headed your way this Saturday. If you can't make it to Nissan Stadium, that should be first and foremost. Bring the radio to Nissan Stadium.
Yes. And
attend the game, where you can check out Eddie and TSU and all things homecoming this weekend against Bethune-Cookman. By the way, you get to see win number 1. Let's go ahead and let's speak that into existence. See a victory.
I like it, yes.
You hate it, don't you, I say this?
Hey, we're going to put our best foot forward.
I know, yeah. Hey, let's open up the phone lines, 615-737-1025. 737-1025 if you would like to jump in. Ian Safar back at the station making it happen for us. Big thanks to Junie Riddle and Gates Gaines for being here on behalf of 1025 The Game. The suit is here as well, but he's everywhere, Chase McCabe. We'll come back. Let's talk Titans. Titans win on the road in Indianapolis. Eddie knows a thing or two about that. And how difficult it has been for this franchise to win in Indy. They have now won 5 of their last 6 against Indy, and they've won 4 straight in Lucas Oil Stadium, which is very difficult to do, and Derrick Henry got going.
It was the Derrick Henry of old. I mean,
I
wouldn't say of old. I think he never left, but he looked like himself. And I didn't have a chance to see all of the plays, but the stuff that I did see, he was running through tackles, yards after contact. He was more effective as a running back out the backfield, a receiver out the backfield.
Yeah, they're using him a lot more
there. So it just looked like a well-balanced offense as far as the Titans go.
We'll dive in because I want to get your take on. I think everyone knows the path to victory for this offense for the Titans. Mm-hmm. They're scoring 24 points in the first half, and then they're not doing anything in the second half, and that's been routine now for 4 games. And I want to get your take when we come back on a remedy to that and what you can point to, because I think including me, the novice, would point to, the defense is making adjustments. But the adjustments aren't, we know the Titans are going to run the football with Derrick Henry. We know the Colts want to run the football with Jonathan Taylor. Mm-hmm. So what's holding the Titans back in the second half? We'll get Eddie's take on that later. Did you get a chance to meet Bryce Young last year at the Heisman?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
So he's hurt over the weekend with his shoulder. I just want to get your take on him as a person and the player, because this was something you and I were discussing last year with your Heisman vote. Mm-hmm. And then we'll get into C.J. Stroud and the path that he's on this year as well. we're wide open. The Eddie George Show means you can join us. 615-737-1025. It's all presented by the Low T Center. If you need your annual health exam, I recommend going to Low T Center to get your complete health assessment. They're going to check all of your levels, not just your T level. In most cases, it's completely covered by your health insurance. And if you don't have insurance, if you need someone to check on that for you, they can do it there. Full lab panel, $100, full lab panel, if insurance isn't going to cover this for you. And an office visit with their medical provider is going to give you a complete health assessment with that lab panel. Low T Center specializes in men's health, making it quick and easy, even verifying your insurance for you. If you don't live near a Low T Center or you just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy to get started on treatment. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com right now to book online. lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Silly Underdog Picks is back. Get your friends and sign up today at thegamenashville.com. Pick the 3 football underdog teams each week you think will win for a chance to win weekly prizes. Like a pair of tickets to a sporting event or to a concert in Nashville. Oh, yeah! Go to thegamenashville.com or the Game Nashville app and sign up and play now. Then tune in every Thursday at noon for our expert picks. Silly Underdogs is presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket.
The Electronic Express famous half-price fair is back and better than ever. This week, save up to 50% on all your favorite brands. Don't miss out on these record low prices. Electronic Express has huge savings in every department. Computers, appliances, 4K TVs, smart home, furniture, mattresses, and more. Save up to 50% with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online at electronicexpress.com and get free express delivery on most items. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormonal deficiencies and imbalances, and Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve your quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit our website at coolspringsmd.com.
Hey folks, Joe Exit here for FanDuel Sportsbook, letting you know now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because you can get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That is free bets back if first bet doesn't win. All you got to do is sign up with promo code Joe102. FanDuel, of course, has a lot of great things you can do. Money line, point spreads, player props. You can combine bets for the same game parlay. If you want to talk same game parlay Sunday, Titans, Washington football team. Jahan Dotson anytime touchdown. I think I might go there. I think Derrick Henry over on the rushing yards. I think he's got it rolling a little bit, and I would go Titans with the money line. This is all in an app that's safe, secure, super easy to use. All you got to do is sign up with promo code Joe102 for your no-sweat first bet. Again, promo code Joe102. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued is now. Double free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
This is the Eddie George Show on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
And it's presented by the Low T Centers. We broadcast from 6th and Peabody. We are here every Monday night leading up to Monday Night Football. Tonight it's the Rams and 49ers. LowTCenter.com is where you can go for your annual health exam. They're more than just checking a T level there. Your complete health assessment. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Phone lines are available, 615-737-1025. Our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Let's go to Tim up on line 2, who is first up. What's up, Tim?
Hey, guys. Hope y'all well. Just wanted to say what's up, first of all, to Eddie.
What's up,
He
Tim?
and Steve and Kevin Byard, my favorite all time. But did want to shout out to TSU. I am personally an MTSU guy, so I wanted to get his take on that game this weekend. And really, that's all I got. And thank y'all. Have a good night, all right?
Yeah, you got it, Tim. Thank you. What did you think of Middle whenever you played them? We didn't take calls last week.
No, we didn't. They just took us to the woodshed. It wasn't close. I felt like we were outplayed up front, both sides of the football. And then when we lost DJ,
Yes.
that was.
I was going to bring that up if you didn't.
Yeah, so that had a lot to do with it, and I think, you saw kind of where the drop-off is. You were able to watch the game this weekend in terms of our first string to our second string quarterback. And it was significant enough where we had to play two, our second and third string guys. So that's a big deal. MTSU, really showed me who they were when they went down to Miami and did what they did.
I was stunned by that.
Honestly, I wasn't. I mean, honestly, I was curious to watch that game to see, what would happen. And they went in there, and it wasn't close at all from the very
it was no
start of the
fluke.
game. No, it wasn't.
It was no fluke when you see the game. I'm looking at it from the Miami perspective, though. And I'm glad you mentioned this game because you talked to Michael Irvin about this game.
Yes.
And I failed to bring this up last week. What did he tell you?
He just basically said, I watched it. That was it. And he did not.
No comment.
No comment after that. So I said, well, they're a hell of a team. They're a hell of a team.
The Titans last year, 12 wins. This year they start 0-2, and now they're back to 2-2 as they've started to figure things out. They've been winning despite not playing great, but that's what they were doing last year too. And this is how the Titans win games. It's never going to be beautiful, right? It's going to be hard-earned, yards in the trenches, defensive and run game minded. That's no secret.
Right.
And the key is Derrick Henry.
Yes.
Henry outran Jonathan Taylor yesterday. The Titans win. They leave Indy 2-2. Indianapolis now 1-2-1. Had the Titans, people have asked me, like, what's the significance of an early division game? The Titans would have been behind a game and a half. They would have trailed Indy by a game and a half had they lost. And by winning, they're now even with Jacksonville, who lost on the road this past week as well to Philly. So the key's Henry, and I saw a Derrick Henry version that is very similar to what we saw pre-injury last year. And I think that's very good. They have now added more in the passing game for him, and I think that's out of necessity based on depth.
Based on depth, and I think in terms of also the receiver production.
Yeah.
And it allows you to get the ball in his hands, your best player's hands, in a different way.
In space.
In space, and he's not taking the hits in between the tackles as much.
And you get him matched up hypothetically with a safety or a corner, a smaller guy.
And you like that matchup.
Yes.
So
now he's not the best receiver, and I think he would admit that too. Like he dropped a pass. I mean, he's had some drops.
Yes.
But whenever he turns and gets going in space, it's a good play.
It's hell to pay. When you're dealing with that guy on the outside matched up with smaller defenders. But it's a good way, again, for the Titans to keep him involved without giving him the rushing attempts where he's
the wear and tear
be in between the tackles. And I think teams are starting to tee off and knowing – you have tendencies in terms of what they like to do.
Yeah.
What's his strengths are? Does he like running to the right? When he runs to the right, is it I don't know, outside zone? Is it the toss, the short toss into the boundary? What are those plays where he's had most of his explosives? And for a lot of teams, they are going to trigger and get to his legs before he gets going. Meaning that they want to get to him in the backfield before he gets to that third or fourth step beyond the line of scrimmage. That's when it becomes a problem, So, again, kudos to the Titans for figuring out ways to get the ball to him in space and being used as a receiver out the backfield.
And the goal with him, and really any successful run game, is to get the running back to his fourth step, right? Explain that.
Yeah.
Because that's the key. That's the plant and go.
Well, it's almost like you pace to the hole, speed through the hole, And what I mean by that, it's you got to be patient enough to allow the blocking to mature and to have that chemistry, because you might have a double team and you have to wait for that double team, that guard to go back up to the backer or the backside back or however they
he needs three steps to do that. Yeah,
right.
I see what you're saying.
You pace to it, and then when you see that seam, you don't necessarily take that seam, you press the hole to get the flow of the defense, and then you may have a cutback. You may keep it front side. So it's all of that, and it's good spacing, and that stuff really takes time. And that's what I'm saying. That fourth step, you want to be able to burst through some type of hole, and with your pad level down, speed through it, and off to the races you go.
24-17's the final. It was 24-3 for a good stretch of that second quarter. It ended up being 24-10 at halftime. Titans did nothing in the second half, and this is a theme now that's building. And I'm not sure anyone has a great answer for it. If they did, it wouldn't continue. But what causes this? Where half to half, last year, for instance, the Titans only scored an opening drive touchdown twice all year. They're 4 for 4 this year. And now we're seeing the reverse, where they're not great offensively in the second half.
It might be adjustments the defenses are making. It could be conditioning. It could be how you start, the flow of your practice. So you might want to emphasize a mock, a mock halftime, meaning that you get a water break, you break with your coaches, you get an idea of what's going to happen for the next half of practice, and then you come out and you do maybe, a 2-minute drill, fastball period, where you're emphasizing the speed, the sense of urgency, simulating that halftime to say, okay, now it's go time in this particular situation. So you might want to address that, and who knows, what that looks like in practice for the Titans in terms of how they structured it. So there are different ways to address that. I know when Jeff did it, when we had kind of did that, we had a spell with that. We would go 2-minute, we go a hurry up offense with Steve, and he later in my career, go 5 wides and get Steve going. Just to get the ball out of his hands fast and just get the ball in the hands of the playmakers, get them into a rhythm, and then use that for a drive. We can score, and then we'll go back to our regular offense.
The offense, though, is Henry right now.
Yes.
Traylon Burks leaves this game with what looked like an ankle injury. And this is a great example of not judging the injury prior. He had someone come down on the back of his ankle. He's carted off to the locker room just before halftime. Ends up being turf toe, according to Ian Rappaport. And I was joking with someone. I said, well, I'm talking to a guy who certainly knows this injury tonight, in Eddie George. How painful is this? And I heard someone explain this as it's more or less a broken toe. Is that true?
Yes.
And by the way, this is, according to Rappaport, is not going to require surgery. I guess some turf toe injuries do. I don't know.
Some are different. Mine was a sesamoid bone was displaced. It was detached. So you have 2 bones in your big toe.
Yeah.
And the outside bone the inside part of the sesamoid bone was down into my arch. So they had to go in and basically reconstruct my entire toe to make it stable. My toe was basically just flapping. It was like I was running almost like with a hitch, like a flat tire. It was like kapop, kapop, kapop.
Yeah. Could you feel it?
Oh, God, yeah.
I know it's painful, but I'm assuming
Yeah, I could feel everything. And I never missed a game.
I know you did. That's why I wanted to bring this up with you.
It was in 2000 going against the Ravens defense.
Yeah.
Banged up with a turf
Of course
toe.
it was.
Right. And literally I'm playing on one leg.
So how did you play through it, other than just bearing the pain, your pain threshold? Because you're planting and going.
I just.
Which foot was it? Your plant
foot?
foot?
Right foot. It was my right foot. So everything was kind of, I could not power off of it. I just had to do
They call
one
a lot
cut.
of left runs, or what did they do for you?
I ran to the right, and it was like a double cut I had to make.
Okay.
So it was like
A stutter
and then
step.
A stutter step, and try to get it, because I felt like if I couldn't play, it changed our offense, and I felt like we wanted to. That was our window to win a championship, and I had to do whatever I had to take to get it done.
How difficult did it slow you down?
Oh yeah, it did.
See, I'm trying to gauge it from a wide receiver perspective.
Oh
now.
yeah, it's because you're doing a lot of planning and cutting and bursting and using your quick twitch muscles, and it's going to affect you that way. So for the receiver,
Yeah, for Burks.
for Burks, it's going to affect him, especially if you don't have a high threshold for pain. That's going to.
And every player is different. This stays. I mean, you need rest, right? You didn't feel better until.
You need to get. He'll probably get a shot in the toe to take down the swelling.
Okay.
And then.
So that we can
rest
find
time.
out if he can play.
Yeah, he can find out, but that's a nasty injury because you're bearing a lot of weight on that one toe.
You buy into the turf playing a factor in Indy?
Oh,
We've seen plenty of injuries there.
Yeah.
Or on turf in general, but
Turf in general, yeah.
Henry got hurt there. There have been others we could point to, and then some of the fans I saw on social media were pointing. Indy gets another one. The turf gets another one.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about that. I think that's universal. The turf is an issue because of there you're seeing a lot of players plant and not getting in compromising positions with their joints, with their knee, ankle, toe, whatever that is, and it's becoming an issue. I think they're going to have to address that at some point.
When we come back, you want to rapid fire on phones?
Let's do it.
All right, so we've got Leonard and Amy first up out of the gates. We'll do that when we come back. The Eddie George Show from 6th and Peabody every Monday night. You can come grab tacos, beer, moonshine. Perfect weather. We've got Monday Night Football coming up, Rams and 49ers this evening. We'll get Eddie's take on that game. We'll talk some college football as well, including Bryce Young, the injury to the current Heisman Trophy winner from 2021. And I'll get Eddie's take on C.J. Stroud, who I may or may not have picked to be the Heisman winner in 2022. That's all straight ahead on the Eddie George Show, presented by the Low T Center.
This is Colton Sissons, and this is Smashville.
Feeds now, Sissons coming onto the left circle, and Colton Sissons puts it in the net.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5, The Game.
Hey, it's Eddie George. You know we all have crazy busy lives and don't take time to research car insurance, right? Well, you don't have to. Xander Insurance does all the work for you. Their system shops over 15 top companies to find you the best rates, and they keep shopping every year. Their clients have saved an average of $600. That's why I'm a client. Xander gives me more options. More options means more savings. Get free quotes at XanderInsurance.com or call 800-356-1780.
How can a half-carat diamond magically grow into a 2-carat diamond? With Genesis Diamond's 110% diamond upgrade guarantee.
Our trade-up policy is the best in the United States.
That's Stasia at Genesis, explaining how if you buy a diamond today and want to trade it in for a bigger one next year, Genesis always gives you back your original purchase price plus an extra 10%.
We will gladly give you every single penny you paid for the diamond plus an extra 10%, which is amazing. No one does that.
As a real-life example, take Stasia's customer Paul.
When he first started, he got a half-carat, and then as he became more successful, we rewarded him. He came in and he got a 3/4 carat, and then he's traded for a carat. I'm sure I'll see him this year for a carat and a half. As they grow and change and become more successful, their engagement ring can grow with them also.
And there's no catch, no minimum trade-up requirement, and it works on diamond studs and diamond pendants as well.
You get every single investment dollar you put into the diamond, you will get an extra 10% towards the new diamond.
Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
You can trade as many times as you wish.
Continuously voted best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
College football season is here. Finally, it's me, Caroline Fenton, and you already know that I am pumped up for college football season. And Southeastern Carolines, you know that 312 Pizza Company is my favorite place in town. 312 Pizza Company is a family-owned restaurant located in the heart of Germantown, serving up authentic Chicago-style eats right here in Music City. You can catch every down of the college football season at 312 Pizza Company. From week 1 of the national championship, 312 Pizza Company is your home for college football season.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game. Live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Vanderbilt football head coach Clark Lee. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The Eddie George Show is live on 102.5 The Game, and it's all presented by the Low T Center. You can join us at 6th and Peabody Live every Monday, 6 to 7 p.m., leading up to Monday Night Football, and you can join Eddie George at Nissan Stadium this coming Saturday evening, 5 o'clock kickoff, homecoming as TSU and the Tigers, they take on the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman. Again, 5 o'clock kickoff. You can catch it on ESPN Plus and the play-by-play right here on 102.5 The Game. Pre-game starts at 4:30. Let's go to the phones, Eddie.
Let's do it.
We say hello to Leonard, who's first up this segment. What's up,
good
Leonard?
Evening, guys.
Hey.
How are you guys? Hey, Coach, don't worry about that 4th and 1 because all you did was build confidence and that these guys, hey, the coach believes in us. Let's get this 4th and 1. The next time they do a 4th and 1, they're going to fire up that ball a little bit harder and stronger and get that 4th and 1. So don't worry about it. You play your game, and if it works out, it works out. But that time it didn't. But 8 out of 10 times it's going to work out from now on, I promise.
We had a couple 4th down conversions earlier in the year. I just felt like, hey, you know what? Let's go try to get this one. Let's be aggressive with the win. Let's establish our identity. And we can't get 1 yard, then that's it. But, hindsight, you almost like, man, I should have kicked that doggone field goal.
Well.
But, lessons learned, duly noted.
I understand it, too, based on the time you had left, the way you're running the football.
Yes.
You're very good on 3rd down in this game, nearly 50%.
Yeah.
So you're moving the chains.
Moving the chains, and like you said, we averaging, almost 5 yards a pop.
Yeah.
Running the football. And I felt like I wanted to flip the script in terms of wearing their defense out a little bit more and hold on the ball a little bit more and possibly score with little time left.
Yeah.
So I could put them in a position to have to throw more and not, run the ball as much. But it didn't work out in our favor. But again, we were able to kick a field goal to go into overtime and go up in overtime at 27-20 and just didn't make the necessary stops to win in terms of pulling out the victory.
Back to the phones. Our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. It's 615-737-1025. It's the Eddie George Show presented by the Low T Center. And we go to Amy next up. Amy, welcome in.
Good evening, everybody.
What's up, Amy?
I would like to ask you a question. With the lack of offensive line play, what adjustments will you be making going forward?
In terms of TSU?
Yes, sir.
The lack of offensive line play. Well, we're addressing that on a daily basis. Actually, when we look at our offensive line, I think they've gotten better since week 1. It's been a unit that we've had different lineups every week, and we're finding the best 5 players that can play for us. In the run game, they've been fairly consistent. Where we've struggled is on 3rd downs, and certainly getting behind the chains where we kind of know what defenses are going to do in terms of pressure. So we're trying to be better in terms of teaching the fundamentals of blocking, knowing who to block, how the moving parts are moving, how to pass off stunts up front, what to expect, looking at tendencies. So that is an ongoing process in terms of the communication and making sure we're at one unit as an offensive line and gaining confidence in that. So that's something that we're addressing every single day.
Thank you for the phone call, Amy. We go next to line 3, Ian, and we say hello to Starfish. What's up?
Hi, Coach. This is Starfish, one of your fans down in Atlanta. Down in Atlanta by way of Memphis. Just 3 quick comments. I'm going to hang up and listen.
Okay.
With the, you said you were happy with our turnout this past Saturday. Wanted to see what you'd like to see us do different, playing in the hole. That was your first time coaching in the hole. As a 1982 graduate, I truly enjoyed being back there.
Yes.
Also, I know we have some players that we lost to injury who didn't get a chance to play on Saturday, so wanted to know what their status will be for next week. And last but definitely not least, the Bethune-Cookman players. They played in Huntsville last weekend, and their campus got hit pretty hard by the storm, by the hurricane.
Yes.
Curious if they're going to come on up to Nashville, and is there anything as a fan base, football family, we can do to be prepared to help them when they get into the Nashville area? Want to know if we need to bring anything with us. Thank you, Coach. It hurt this weekend. But we know you got them, and I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for the
Great
call.
thoughts, too.
Great thoughts. My thoughts definitely go out to Bethune-Cookman and how they've been hit and impacted by the hurricane. We are doing some stuff to help them in terms of logistics and coming up. We understand that it's very difficult to kind of go through that. So, but to answer her question in terms of our offense, yeah, we were down. I failed to mention not only our starting quarterback, also our starting running back. So, we're playing with our second-string running back who had a 100-yard day and 2 quarterbacks, 2 of our second-team quarterback and a third-team quarterback. So their status is still up in the air. I think, again, it'll be a game-time decision in terms of if they'll go or not this week. But, we're going to have to play the players that we have and get them ready to go this week, so hopefully we can have DJ back and hopefully Star back this week.
It's hard not to get fired up for homecoming, though.
No, I know, it's great. And
the crowd's going to be great.
The crowd, listen, 11-5, the only problem.
Your first time coaching there.
First time coaching there. It was great, but didn't come away with the victory.
Right.
That's
right.
the part that you wish you would have come away with. But gosh, man, just to see the fans, you could feel the magic.
Yeah.
And
there's an energy to it.
Yeah, Hale is special. The whole is special. And we practice in it, but when it's alive and you got fans in there and
you know who told me I had to go?
It was great. Who's that?
Hope Hines.
Hope did, okay.
Hope Hines, years ago, he goes, Jonathan, have you, at first he said, I hope you've been doing something meaningful, which is his go-to line, like, hopefully you're living your life meaningful. And I said, yes, Hope, what's up? He goes, have you been to the Hole? Have you been to Hale Stadium? I'm like, no. You need to go there. And you need to know that what is needed, like you need to be invested in the idea that renovations can happen. This was a decade ago or so. And Hope put me on TV for the first time, too. Shout out Hope Hines. So I did, and it was, you feel it. It's loud.
Yes.
It's energetic.
Yes.
There is a vibe to it that you can't get. You have the same amount of fans, for the most part, wherever you go. Mm-hmm. But if you're in a bigger stadium, it doesn't feel like everyone's over the top of you, and it's, right. Everyone's there on behalf of TSU. It's a different vibe. It's an old school throwback feel. It's timeless. It's timeless.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great word. Yes. And you have fans around the field, standing on the sidelines in the end zone, and it's like, oh, this could be something special.
No doubt
when we get it rocking. But our goal is to upgrade Hale. Get some games back there and have that same vibe. Try to create a real home field advantage and make it like our home. So that's it.
I'm glad you said that because I'm intrigued. I want to get back there the next time you guys play there, and maybe I'll get a sideline pass and be able to hang out with you at Nissan
come on,
Stadium.
man, you're always
Let's
welcome,
go.
bro.
You put a headset on me. I don't need to speak. I just want to listen.
You want to listen to what's being said?
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I would love that. You kidding me?
Yeah, you can sit in the booth and do that for sure. And add in your 2 cents if you want to. Don't go for it here.
Field goal. Hey, man, if you say something, I'm along for the ride on that.
Yes.
Low T Center specializes in men's health, making it quick and easy, even verifying your insurance. You can go to lowtcenter.com for more info. It is the Eddie George Show, another segment, college football discussion from the Power Five, and let's say it's the SEC, the Big Ten. It's C.J. Stroud from the Big Ten at The Ohio State University. It's Bryce Young, who got hurt with his shoulder this past week for Alabama. We'll get Eddie's take on Bryce, the last year's Heisman winner, and C.J. Stroud, the current favorite to win the Heisman this year. A lot of football to be played. Another segment to be discussed coming up on 102.5 The Game.
At some point, it's a combination of who did you play and what does your skill set look like.
Get the best analysis of the big stories in the sports world with ESPN's Jason Fitz.
If you reach for a quarterback in the draft because you need one, you're going to set your franchise back 5 years.
Join Fitzy every Wednesday at 4:30. Presented by Blood Assurance. Jason Fitz.
I am 5'9.5"
on ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
Another nice night ahead with mainly clear skies as we head into the overnight. Temperatures drop back into the mid to upper 40s. On our way to the upper 70s with sunshine for Tuesday. For Fox 17, I'm Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Nothing makes one feel better than the ability to give to someone in need. You have the power to give the most important gift of all, the gift of life, with a donation of your blood. Supplies are desperately low in our area, and your help is needed. Blood Assurance is a nonprofit community blood center that supplies our Middle Tennessee area hospitals. Please find it in your heart to donate. Be someone's hero today. Go to bloodassurance.org to find a location or blood drive near you. That's bloodassurance.org. Give blood, give local, save lives with Blood Assurance.
Now is a fantastic time to sell in Nashville, but you can't do it without the intel. And no one has better intel than the Gary Ashton team. You may be wondering, what is this intel I keep hearing about? Intel so you can sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel on where to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel that helps you win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Everyone else is getting the same information and competing for the same properties. GaryAshton.com gives you the edge with the best real estate intel in Nashville. No one else even comes close. Plus, the Gary Ashton team is the official real estate agent for the Preds. Get the confidence to sell your home and find your dream address without the stress. Call the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage today at 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com. And remember, don't sell without the intel.
O'Reilly Auto Parts specializes in keeping your car on the road. Not sure how much life is left in your battery? Our professional parts people will test it for free. If it does need to be replaced, we'll help you find just the right one to fit your car. Our Superstart batteries are built to handle even the toughest conditions. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the Eddie George Show on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The Eddie George Show presented by the Low T Center. We've got my favorite here with Yeehaw at 6th and Peabody is the Pilsner.
Pilsner, nice.
You went with the easy. It looked like easy.
Yes, and it went down easy.
It's good. Hey, Oktoberfest is also on tap. Highly recommend that. Very, very nice. Coming up, the Rick Stockstill Show on 102.5 The Game. Bryce Young injures his shoulder, and I just made a mental note because you're Heisman winner, you get a vote, you're there. What's he like? He's, NIL's here, so he's in some commercials now.
Yeah,
and,
he actually took my spot in the Heisman house. He took
he?
my actual room. I've moved rooms. Like now, I used to have a suite at the Heisman house in the southwest corner. Now they moved me from that suite to like the basement. No, I'm joking. He's a good dude.
But you were in the. I think he took your spot in the Dr. Pepper commercial.
Did he really?
Yes, he's in those spots now. That's what I'm saying. Like
I was the doctor.
That's what I really meant by that. Yeah, I think he's like doing some role there for name, image, likeness after winning the Heisman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Is he humble behind the scenes?
Oh God, yes. What's glaring is the size. You're like, that's Bryce Young?
I saw him warming up one game last year. It was the Alabama it was the Alabama-Texas A&M game. And I'm in College Station going, hang on.
Yes,
You
exactly.
do a double take
exactly.
because everyone out there Alabama looks like an NFL team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah.
And then you see him, hang on a second. Like
this is the dude.
And then he puts on a show.
Oh, he's amazing. I mean, and the thing I love about Bryce, again, love the young man. Humble, down to earth. I spent maybe about 10, 15 minutes talking to him.
First impressions mean a lot, though.
But he, really down to earth and very, very extremely happy that he's a part of the Heisman fraternity. But the dude is a baller. Like, it's amazing. I was talking to somebody today about Alabama, and they have future NFL Hall of Famers and first rounders and Heisman Trophy winners, All-Americans. He gets hurt. The next quarterback comes and goes, oh, my God, Alabama's in trouble. What does he do? Puts his foot in the dirt and goes 60 yards for a touchdown. A completely different offense for this dude.
It's amazing.
It's amazing what they do and how they do it. But I wish I had him. But now let me stop. We got some good kids we're working with.
Every coach in America wishes that. You know what I mean?
Yes, but Bryce is an amazing young football player. And hopefully he's dealt with this injury before, so I think he knows how to manage it and get around it. And, again, I don't think it slows him down or Alabama. They're just a juggernaut in a machine.
Get the rematch between A&M and Bama this week, the doubleheader on CBS this Saturday. Ohio State.
Rolling.
CJ.
Yes.
Is he the best player right now?
I think so. Regardless of the competition.
Yeah.
I don't think – I
really like him.
Listen, going back to last year and how he is so surgical in the pocket and knows where to go with the football, understands pressures, understands the concepts, able to read defenses, manipulate safeties. I mean, this dude is before his time. And he's got some weapons now on the outside that he can truly rely on. Ohio State is, again, like Alabama, a machine, but their road to get there is a little easier, I think, in terms of competition. I mean, in the SEC, you're seeing LSU, you're seeing Tennessee, you're seeing Kentucky, you're seeing Georgia, you're seeing Missouri. You're seeing those teams.
Just ask Georgia about that.
Yeah, I mean, so these teams you're getting challenged every single week. Where in the Big Ten is a little different. You might have a Michigan team that may be pretty good. I still don't know about them.
You just said their name, so they must be pretty good.
Penn State is another one that might, but after that, there's a significant drop off, in my opinion, in terms of competition. So. The big numbers I expect. I would like to see him play against a team of note on the road. That's why I can't wait to see I'll say season like Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Michigan. I mean, in regular season.
I hope we get to that.
Right.
It'll take a clean break, right, of every the haves and the have-nots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm ready for it. Like, bring it on.
It's
already there, and we just need someone to lead us to it.
Matchups. Oh my God.
I'm with you, man. On the way out, give us your take on homecoming, what you expect from your team this week, and what you hope to see in terms of the fan base and everyone involved at Nissan Stadium, which always comes and shows out for you for TSU.
Well, I expect the fan base to come out again to show support. Homecoming is a great time. It's a historic time for Tennessee State. And I expect our team to go out there and put our best foot forward. We're getting healthier. We've had to learn, again, through these losses. And we're closing in on opportunities for us to win games. So, it's another opportunity for us to go out there and get better. And as hard as it is to stomach these losses, again, you have to learn how to lose in order to learn how to win, and know how to win. And that's where we are in this process. 22 new players. Core of our guys came back from last year. There's been high expectations. There's a lot of football left for us, a lot for us to accomplish. And we just have to understand where we are in that process. We theoretically are 5 games away, or 5 plays away from being 3-1, if you look at it from that perspective. And that's what I choose to do, is that we're doing some good things, we're building on some things, we're able to run the football, we're able to establish our identity, able to get some young guys, some experience, and we're growing. And I think we're heading in the right direction.
TSU Bethune-Cookman homecoming, 5 o'clock kickoff, 4:30 pregame right here on 102.5 The Game this Saturday. Eddie, get after it, man.
God bless you, man. Good seeing you, boss.
Good to see you.
Yes,
Good
sir.
to be back. Join us here, 6th and Peabody, next Monday. We'll be recapping a victory for the Tigers, and we will be leading in, as we do every week, to Monday Night Football. A huge thanks. If Eddie were acting in a play or a movie right now, these would be some of the actors. Junie Riddle, Gates Gaines, Ian Safar, Kitty Adams, Chase McCabe. Thanks to all of you for listening, calling in, all the interaction. Stay tuned. The Rick Stockstill Show is next. This has been the Eddie George Show, presented by the Low T Center.
Nice.
You watch the game.
Shot on the score. Philip Tomasino on the power play.
We talk the game.
I think the Predators have significantly upgraded with him in the top 6.